Hey, happy Thursday, you guys. I'm gonna try and make it through this whole live without stumbling over words. So there's a 100% chance I'm gonna stumble a lot. Just having trouble getting my words together in the last few days. I've been kind of quiet on social media. Do you ever just check out where you're just kind of, you just feel quiet? So I've been a little quiet the last few days, but it is Thursday and I am here to share 3 things with you. So today, the first thing I want to share is I'm approaching 40, almost 39, and I decided to finally figure out some sort of a skincare regimen that wasn't just soap and water. So a while back I had shared Anne-Marie Skincare. She sent me a whole big gift set, and it's wonderful. I still love it. But I decided I wanted to try a different oil, a different moisturizing oil. And so I keep seeing this product popping up on Instagram. And we all know Instagram is a great place to market, and that's probably why I bought it. But this is from Libations. This is their best skin ever oil, and this is rose. So they have a lot of different scents, but I wanted to try rose, which is a little atypical for me. I'm usually more of a sandalwood type person. But this has all kinds of wonderful things in it. Jojoba oil, I think that's how you say that. Rose oil, there's some lavender, some coconut, some sea buckthorn, ylang grapefruit. Yeah, this feels like a heaven on your skin, and it smells divine. So I've been using it this week. This is also the time of the month where I should have a lot of pimples popping up, and I don't know if this oil helped. I don't know if the new skincare regimen in general, but my skin stayed fairly clear, and I'm just noticing that this, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I feel like my skin looks healthier and more even. The lines, all those little fine lines are a little bit finer. I'm really liking this. So Living Libations, I picked it up on Amazon. I think it was $30, and this is, I think, 4 fluid ounces. It's a pretty decent size bottle, considering that you use like 2 squirts. So Living Libations, like I said, they're on Instagram, so you guys can check them out. But I really, really like the quality of this oil. The next thing I might try is some of their like body shimmer stuff. Because I don't wear a lot of makeup these days, but sometimes you want a little bit of sparkle, and so I'm trying to slowly clean out and clean up and find more natural products. So I might try some of their like body shimmers to use like as eyeshadow. I don't know. What do you use? What do you use for all natural makeup and skincare stuff? The next thing I wanted to share with you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I really do like to travel. We haven't done a lot of travel this summer, and that was by design. I just kind of wanted to slow down. We've got some foundation repairs to pay for, and sometimes it's just good to stay home. I like my home. I really like my home. So I didn't feel like I was sacrificing much to stick around this summer. But if you want to make travel more affordable, especially flights, because a lot of times you can find cheaper hotels, or you can camp, or you can find places to stay, especially through Airbnb and things like that. But flights are effing expensive. So we're pretty privileged in that we run an Amazon-based business, and a lot of the inventory we purchase, we run through credit cards, even though we don't have debt because we pay it off. I like to rack up points. So if I fly Southwest, Mike flies with me for free, and we generally cash in a lot of points for flights. But if you want to find more affordable flights, there are 3 different apps, solutions. We'll just call them solutions. So the first one I want to share is called Next Vacay. It's nextvacay.com. It is $25 a year. You set up kind of your home base, and then they send you all the flights that are really crazy cheap from your home base or like satellite airports. So our home base is Columbus, Ohio. So it also searches Detroit, Chicago, Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. and Columbus. So it'll search the nearby airports in case you can get there. But one example that I can share with you, we did not do this because I didn't want to lug my 2 children to Iceland in December, but they were selling flights for about $200 round trip from Columbus, Ohio to Iceland. I want to say it was between $200 and $300. I feel like it was really, really cheap. But if you're looking for inexpensive flights, and you have kind of a flexible schedule for when you can leave, Next Vacay is a really, really nice. They send everything via email. There are 2 apps that we also use. Skyscanner will actually you can, if I remember right, it's been a while since I've used this one, but Skyscanner looks for those cheap flights where you're telling it, this is where I want to go, or this is where I'm coming from, where can I go? And then the other one that we just recently started using is Hopper. We are taking the children out west in November. We're going to fly into Vegas, Columbus to Vegas. We get a lot of inexpensive flights, a lot of direct flights. I love to fly direct. But we're going to take them to some national parks and to see Tapeface from America's Got Talent. So we've been monitoring Vegas flights for a few months, and Hopper will periodically let you know, like, hey, the price is this right now, but we think it's going to get lower, so we think you should hold on. Or the most recent one was Hopper emailing us 2 weeks ago saying, now's the time to buy. This is as cheap as we think it's going to get. So that's the cool thing with Hopper is you can, if you know where you want to go and you tell it, this is when I want to go, it will monitor and let you know when you should buy your flights. So this is more if you've got time in advance. So Next Vacay is really great if you got your central airport, your hub airport. It'll search all the satellites and it'll just send you all the great deals. And you can filter those in your email just to go into a folder if that's too much for your inbox. But we usually get, honestly, 5 or 6 emails from them a day, and they're crazy, crazy good deals. You know, going to Turks and Caicos from Chicago for $175 round trip. Like, they're trying to fill the airplane. So a lot of times these flights are like in 2 weeks, but a lot of them are in like a 4 to 8 month window. So we do a lot of travel. Those are the 3 ones. Next Vacay, Skyscanner, and Hopper are our 3 favorites right now. And I reserve the right to change my mind because they're always improving things. All right. The last thing I want to talk to you about, the third thing. I was listening to the Joe Rogan Experience, I think it was last week, and it's an older episode. It was Dr. Cornel West, and they mostly talked about music, musicians, as well as stand-up comics, and just creating and art in general. And they dive deep. I mean, they're really geeking out on the history of music and who influenced whom and how this artist influenced that one, and same with stand-up and what it really takes to get up on stage and dig through material and work things out. And that's what the episode really focused on. But Dr. Cornel West, he talks a lot about society, and he studies culture, and he looks at the way culture and society behaves. And so they dug into that a little bit. And what I really took away was this notion of pleasure versus joy. So, I talk a lot about money and finances and getting those things in order. And it resonated with me in how we spend our money. So the difference between pleasure and joy, and how if we don't have a clear idea of what that really means, it can show up in how we spend our money. So, and I know this happens with me, and I know before we got our finances on track, we were spending money on a lot of pleasures. Really short, quick fixes of pleasure. So a lot of going out to eat, a lot of going out for drinks, not even in a meaningful way where, I love to go out with friends and have a really nice evening. I love to stay in with friends too, and I can often get that same value staying in, and we all bring in food and we all bring in drinks and we play games. But sometimes it's joyful to go out. But what we were doing was more of these like quick hits of pleasure, buying DVDs back when you bought DVDs. But it was more mindless spending on things that we thought were making us happy, and in the moment they made us happy, but they didn't really fill us with joy. And so if you sit down and you start thinking about your life and what gives you meaning, what gives you joy, what fills you up, a lot of times you're going to find that maybe your money is going towards these quick little pleasures, and it leaves us really, at the end, we still feel empty. And so then we have this endless cycle of feeling empty, go after the new thing, consume it, feel full for a minute, back to emptiness, and then repeat. But when we start adding in when we know what brings us joy, when we actually examine what that is, and we know and recognize those moments, whether that's through a gratitude practice or meditate, whatever it takes for you. For me, it's a gratitude practice of just writing things down, of noticing those moments of joy. It is a practice. You do have to work it like a muscle. But once you begin to recognize what actually fills you up in life, it gets a lot easier to say no to those quick hits of pleasure, to the short-term gains, because you've got a long-term vision for what you want. Knowing that travel brings us a lot of joy and fills us up because we have a lot of great memories from it, and it gives us a lot of these joined experiences and stories that we get to take with us into the future. It connects us as a family. It's an adventure. It challenges us because sometimes we're going to places we've never been. We don't speak the language. Maybe we're not familiar with the foods. That brings us joy. Expensive clothes don't bring me joy. So there was a time where I was mindlessly spending money on clothes and decorations for my house and, I don't know, stuff that it was cute. I liked it when I walked through Target. It was super cute. But it didn't fill me up. At the end of my life, what's going to fill me up are these memories. And I'm not going to remember that trinket. I'm just not. So examine, I guess that's my challenge. That's the third thing, is kind of a challenge to you, is to examine, where are you sacrificing joy for pleasure? Because I'm seeing it is pervasive in the American Western culture that we seem very pleasure obsessed, and we don't seem to have a good grasp of what fills us up and brings us joy. And I think we see it playing out in social media and how people are behaving online. And then just that mindless consumption of more, bigger, better, brighter, just more. So where is that in your life? Where are you sacrificing joy for pleasure? And I'm going to be talking about this a lot more. I've got a new program coming up. It is going to be a 5-day challenge, or a 5-day, I guess I haven't even really named it yet. Anyway, it's going to be to help you get financially clear in 5 days. It'll be a series of 5 assignments that help you figure out where you're at, where you want to be, where you find value, more of that pleasure versus joy, and begin to tell your money where it's going to go, and making choices for your money versus just kind of seeing where it goes and realizing at the end of the month that you don't have much of it left, or maybe you don't have any of it left, and that stresses you out. So this is going to be a free 5-day series of assignments that are going to walk you through. So if you're interested in that, shoot me a DM with your email, and as soon as that launches, I will send it to you, because I am deep in the mix of putting it all together and trying to make it, I'm trying to make it perfect for you guys. But I want people to be more intentional, and I think this will help. So if that interests you, DM me your email, or head over to BritniRoss.com and grab one of the free downloads over there, and then I'll have your email because I'm going to send it out to everybody. But those are my 3 things. So loving this oil, living libations. This is the Rose Best Skin Ever. Travel apps that we use to help us find more affordable flights when we can't use our points. Our Next Vacay, that one's $25 a year and goes through email. And then the 2 apps are Skyscanner and Hopper. And then if you haven't checked out the Joe Rogan Experience, I love that podcast. He has so many amazing interviews, but one I really liked was Dr. Cornel West. They geek out on music and stand-up, but they also talk about this pleasure versus joy. And so I'm challenging you to examine your life. Where are you sacrificing actual joy for short-term pleasure? So I am so glad that you guys tuned in today. I love you guys. Maybe I'll feel a little less quiet, and I will share a little bit more on social media this week, but sometimes you just feel quiet, so you get quiet. I'll talk to you guys soon, and have a wonderful Thursday. Love you guys.